In today's episode, we'll be talking about the changes to your support from Canada Company, coming right up. Hi there, my name is Tony Morrow, and welcome to Getting to Hired, the show where we're helping you transition successfully from your military career to a successful civilian one. Today, we're speaking with Dwayne Cormier. I laugh because we did a first draft of this show and I screwed up the name right off the bat. So Dwayne Cormier, he is the Director of Transition Services at Canada Company. Dwayne, thank you very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So Dwayne, Canada Company is an organization, and it's okay, we've lost Dwayne there. We'll get him back in a sec. We know that Canada Company is an organization focused about supporting veterans and the military community. Depending on where our audience is in their transition process, whether they've gone to a SCAN seminar or not, whether they're thinking about the transition, are in it or on the other end, they may not understand really what Canada Company has to offer, where they came from, and who's involved. So could you give us a quick background on who Canada Company is and what they do for us as veterans?
Long story short, Canada Company was founded back in 2006 by honorary colonel and honorary commander of the Army, also CEO of AGF. Started Canada Company back in 2006 with the scholarship fund, which was for the children of the fallen. So the child of any veteran who was killed in active duty or in training, the scholarship fund would ensure that they would be able to go attain post-secondary education on a full scholarship. We've helped over 106 individuals with over 1.06 million given out in scholarships. There's also our Lab 3 monument. So we're putting up Lab 3s across the country to pay homage and honor those who have fallen in Afghanistan. And not most recently, but where I came in was back in 2012. They started the MET program, the Military Employment Transition Program, which was bridging the gap between transitioning veterans and corporate Canada by bringing on employers that were agreeable to hiring veterans. And we quickly grew that program to become the leading not-for-profit charity assisting veterans transition to mainstream employment.
And like you say, Canada Company really was that, and is rather, that liaison between the military community and the civilian workspace community, helping us connect as far as members transitioning out. And you were specifically and directly involved with developing a number of programs regarding or related to transition and the Pathfinder program. Can you maybe flesh out in more detail some of the benefits and details of that?
Yeah. So about 12 years ago, a company I was working at previously, they were approached by Right Management to provide career transition services for transitioning military. I'm a facilitator at heart, and the transition guru, as they call me. I've been helping people look for work and find their passion for over 3 decades. Started working with the military, identified their challenges, as any facilitator would do with whatever the group is that you're working with. Identify their challenges and create the steps to overcome those challenges. Took that knowledge with me when I came to Canada Company and the MET program, and we quickly implemented those same kinds of strategies, which is educating. So teaching, the veterans, the transitioning member doesn't know what they don't know. They don't know how to write a resume. They don't know what this LinkedIn thing is. Why do I need to be on Twitter? So teaching them how to write a civilian-based resume, prepare for interviews, educate, makes them better prepared for the transition. And then we also have our military-friendly certified employer aspect, where we actually militarize civilian HR, where they understand all of the different occupations in the Canadian Armed Forces, the transferability of skills, the leadership styles, the difference between NCMs and officers, demystifying all of the Hollywood myths that are out there. They're all transitioning because they have OSI and antisocial personality disorders. My favorite one is Well, they're trained to take orders. So if I'm not there giving them orders every 5 minutes, are they just going to stand around like mindless drones? Recently, when I heard again, we won't hash out all of the stereotypes, but so we educate and demystify and educate employers with our military 101 and our certification. So you have veterans that know how to speak civilian to write a resume that is geared towards the position they're applying for, and then you have militarized HR people that understand the skill set. So it's a great recipe for success. We've had documented over 3,000 hires. That's 3 per day with our program. In the last 3 years, we have over 500 military-friendly certified employers. So the MET method, as we call it, works.
And one thing, it's interesting, I know from my own experience, there's a great deal of anxiety that many of us experience as we're getting ready for that transition, that point where we're going to start looking for a job. But when I applied for the military way back when, over a decade ago, I applied with a paper resume, and well, it's not like that anymore. And so the environment in which we search for a job, the environment in which we search, apply, and kind of go through the interview process and get a job is totally different. You mentioned LinkedIn, for example, tools like that, and various other online databases that we can use to increase our own profile, our own reputation, and get our name out there to be able to be visible and be applicable to, or be eligible rather, for various jobs is something that if you haven't focused on educating yourself about, and it's difficult to do because it's so dynamic, the environment today, especially from what you knew in the past, maybe, it can be very, very intimidating. So it's good. Your Pathfinder program lays out in its coursework a very clear, directed, and coordinated path to success, learning all these skills so that when we come out the other end, we are primed to be successful, correct?
Lean, mean job search machines, as I call it.
And
It's start to
absolutely. And what's really good about that program is that for many of us, like the effort is not the issue. We're willing to give 110%. It's the knowing where to focus that effort and to understand the picture so that we can dial in on our target and, execute on what it is we need to do. So that MET program that you have at Canada Company really does a lot to be able to dial in and focus our energies. And one thing you mentioned that I don't know that everybody caught was the civilian to military speak. Terminology is a key component to success in the military and really any industry. And so when it comes to, for example, whether it was mock before Moss ID, but the job description of what it is that you do, whatever you were, in my case, I was a Mars officer, now identified as a Naval Warfare Officer, NWO. But there's a specific set of job description skill sets that go with that. And so if you were a trade, an easily transferable trade skill, for example, a cook, that's the first one that comes to mind. There's certifications that are easily transferable and attainable through that. However, if you're an artillery officer or an infantry of some kind, those skills aren't necessarily as easy to quantify and put on paper. But your Pathfinder program helps us with that, doesn't it?
absolutely. So it was through ESDC, the Employment Social Development Canada, we received funding to create this database tool, but also identify sectors that were experiencing shortages and which military occupations would really translate well into those sectors experiencing shortages. So project management, cybersecurity. So we mapped all of that. What we also did is we created first of its kind, basically LinkedIn meets eHarmony dating app. We have a secret sauce where we took all of the developmental periods, 1 right up through to 5. We had a warrant officer and a brigadier general break down the NCMs and the officers through their training, and then through all that training, identify skills that, regardless of your rank or your MOSID, whether you're a captain or a private, there's skills that are easily translatable into Civi speak, and we've done that for them. So when you go into the Met Pathfinder and you create your profile, similar to on LinkedIn, you plug in your rank and your MOSID, and your profile auto populates with all of those skills. So you don't even have to sit there and go, well, what kind of skills did I have as an infantry officer? Well, I can rhyme off 20 right off the top of my head, but you may not think of them because you're in the military speak. So we've already done that for you. We've had an HR person also work with that group and validate that, yep, this is definitely civilian HR skills. So that isn't being done anywhere else. That is a cool, and you use the example of cook, whatever, whatever your occupation is. If you're leaving the military and you're an infantry officer, most tools would point you to police officer, RCMP. Our tool goes above and beyond that. It thinks outside the box because you don't want to be a cook when you get out, or you don't want to be a cop when you get out. So the idea is here are a broad set of skills that corporate Canada is looking for. Your leadership principles, the risk mitigation, the list is endless. Operations, logistics, you know, it's yeah.
And really, these tools that you have on the Canada Company website, again, CanadaCompany.ca, you go there and you'll be able to navigate to the Pathfinder program where they will, you log in, create a profile, and you'll be able to access all this, including the modules and the learning tutorials that you have there. So you spent a good number of years flushing this out, building it up, creating this fantastic tool. But the big breaking news for this program here today is that that's all about to change. So can you tell us and talk to us about the changes that are coming when it comes to Canada Company and this Pathfinder program?
Yeah, so Veterans Affairs Canada put out a RFP, request for proposal, for a third-party provider to deliver career transition services. The successful company that got it will be opening doors April 1, 2018 to deliver that program. We felt at Canada Company with the MET program that it's kind of hard to compete with a program that is federally backed. All folks are going to be pointed to that website, so we figured we would be in competition with the program. So as a result of that, our board of directors has made the decision to wind down the program, and we'll be closing doors on March 31st of this year.
So that date is really important, 31st of March, 2018. If you already have a profile on the MET Pathfinder program, if you're already logged in, if you haven't done so yet, you can still do so now. But 31 March, that all disappears. Now, there is, as you described, there is a new program that's coming into place provided by a different service provider, but the depth, the breadth, and the details of that scope is kind of unknown at this point. There's no accessible information that really talks about what that program is going to look like. So as a result, when that information becomes available, we'll hopefully come to you with those details. But as of right now, this valuable tool that has been developed over many years and that can, have real results in your transition is still available until 31 March. So I strongly encourage everyone out there to get on this program, log in, and get as much of that information as possible. Dwayne, you had mentioned previously that there was downloadable content, reference material that you can get from this website, as well as, of course, all the learning modules that you go through. And what was it you described it? Lean, mean job hunting or job finding machine when you're done?
Yeah, lean, mean job search machine. Once you've taken the course, it literally makes me obsolete. If you do it right and you understand all of the aspects of a job search, you can coach your next brother or sister from the forces that's coming out with the model. The MET method works. Again, this is going back to years before in voc rehab, identifying the challenges that certain demographic is facing. How do you overcome them? Well, you educate the employer, you educate the person, get rid of the barriers, they move on. So the idea is, to use those tools, learn how to look for work, get all of these transferable skills that we've already mapped for you. You put them into workbooks. There's career assessments that usually cost that you can take. There's a wealth of tools. There's a whole bunch of other initiatives. Our education consortium, Vets to PM Canada, for those that want to pursue project management. We have a program that actually teaches you how to translate your military experience into project management, to challenge the exam, to get your PMP designation. There's a a whack of initiatives that we've launched and done. The first of ever, the first military friendly certified employer award. We created a career practitioner for employment counselors, like numerous firsts. Our Career Connects 50 to 70 employers on site with hundreds and hundreds of veterans and spouses walking through. We're the first organization to, we now have 14 federal organizations that are a part of our military friendly employer consortium. So that's never been done before. So if you're in that zone right now to be looking for work, strongly recommend getting on there.
So all this work, I mean, Canada Company itself is not going to disappear necessarily. And I should mention, Dwayne mentioned Vets to PM. They'll be a future guest on the show, talking about the project management designation and how that can help you. But Canada Company itself as an organization isn't going away. There's still many other programs and supports that Canada Company offers. Can you just quickly just recap some of those benefits, some of those programs that they work on?
Again, the Canada Company Scholarship Fund, it's fully funded, and anybody whose parent again is killed in active duty training, we've actually opened the parameters up to those who take their life for various reasons, which is attributable to service. Those children are now eligible for that scholarship as well. The Lab 3, trying to get lab monuments across the country to recognize that part of our history. And Canada Company is now going to be looking at new initiatives, nothing to do with employment, but other initiatives, because their motto is many ways to serve, and they will continue to do the work that they've done. We just don't have the full visibility on that yet.
Sure. And just to be clear with everybody, I mean, Canada Company is an organization, as Dwayne said, that is focused around helping us as veterans. The transition program, the MET program, is one facet of what they do, but there is other work that they will be doing. And as you say, Dwayne, Canada Company will be reevaluating things as they develop. This is a time of great change for all of us veterans. The government has new programs, new policies. So much is changing, and we will work continually to try and clarify that message for you so that we can get you the right nuggets and pieces of information so you know what's going on. So Canada Company still going to be around. It's just the MET program, this transition service that they assist with, is going to be disappearing as of 31 March 2018. If you haven't already signed up on CanadaCompany.ca, go to that website, go to the Pathfinder link in the menu bar, and get yourself logged in as an account and digest and take in as much of that information as you can. Dwayne, your work on this transition profile has been incredible. But your time with Canada Company, because of course this program is being run closed down, your time with Canada Company is coming to an end. Is that correct?
Correct. February 15th is my last day.
All right. But Dwayne is active in working with veterans in the veterans community. What that will look like going forward, we don't know. But Dwayne, I look forward to...
Stay tuned.
What's that? Stay tuned. That's right. Stay tuned. I look forward to, once we find out the details of what's next on your horizon, speaking with you potentially about that. But again, for folks, the big news with regards to this program, this broadcast, and this interview, the changes to the support being offered to veterans with regards to the Canada Company MET program. Get on that website, access that information, CanadaCompany.ca. That Pathfinder program will be up and running until 31 March 2018. After that, all those resources, all those modules, all that information that is invaluable to your job search, your transition, and helping you to be successful in your finding that next civilian career, all that information will be gone. I know for myself, I have a profile, but I haven't really logged in and used that information yet, just because I wasn't at that stage. Based on the information Dwayne just shared with us, I'm going to be jumping in there and milking and taking as much information from that program as I possibly can. So Dwayne, thank you very much for joining us today. Again, this information is timely. It's incredibly valuable, so that veterans can move on this effectively and as quickly as possible. Thank you very much for coming on the show, and I look forward to speaking with you again, hopefully sometime soon.
Look forward to it as well. Thanks for having me, Tony.
Thanks, Wayne. So, folks, again, this has been an announcement of big changes with Canada Company as things evolve going forward with all the various programs, the different changes that'll be happening at Canada Company, and whatever moves forward, we'll be bringing that to you here at Getting to Hired, the show where we will be helping you transition from your military life to a successful civilian career. Until next time, I'm Tony Morrow. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching today's episode of Getting to Hired. If you found today's episode useful or know another veteran who would find it useful, then make sure to tell 2 friends. Share this video on Facebook and hit the follow button so that you're up to date on the latest live streams as they go live on Facebook Live. Or if you're watching us on YouTube, then make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell button so that you're up to date on when new content hits our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.